I want to talk to you today just about leadership in general and just some thoughts that I have around leadership and just some points that I've made. And so here we go. First of all, here's the big idea. Your leadership will never consistently rise above your mindset. And now remember, every single person on this call is a leader. I don't care if you don't have anybody in LifeWave on your team yet. You are a leader. You lead people. Maybe it's your family, maybe it's your kiddos, maybe it's your coworker. It doesn't matter. You are a leader. You influence somebody, you lead somebody. You are a leader. So we all need to be better at leadership. John Maxwell says everything in life rises and falls on leadership. Everything, right? Every little league baseball team, every mom and dad inside the home, every classroom, every business and organization, every government, it all rises and falls on leadership. So leadership is a big deal. So your leadership will never consistently rise above your mindset. So here's a few points. Number one, leadership starts with leading yourself. And you're like, well, yeah, duh. Okay, duh. How well are we doing on that? Do you do what needs to get done even when you absolutely don't feel like it? Do you control your emotions under pressure like you would expect from other people if you're a leader? Do you keep the commitments? This is probably the most important. And this is what I want to harp on for just a minute, that you make to yourself. I think one of the biggest ways that we build confidence is by keeping the promises and commitments that we make to ourselves, to no one else. Guys, what's so fascinating about this is, does anybody remember when Chris and Heidi Powell were doing a TV show called The Biggest Loser? Anybody remember that show, The Biggest Loser? And it was like they would bring people on that were that had very much let themselves go. I'm talking 3, 4, 5, 600 pounds, and the goal was the biggest loser, like who can lose the most weight. And they were being interviewed on a podcast after like 6 or 7 seasons of this, and they're like, okay, you've had amazing transformations. Like you've seen people drop literally hundreds and hundreds of pounds and change their life forever. How many revert back to their old ways and get back to their old weight after they leave the show? And unfortunately, I don't remember the exact statistic, but it's roughly half. They go back. And it's like, okay, tell me about the half that never go back. What do you notice about them? And it's so funny because Chris is like, I'm going to tell you exactly what we notice. And this is true in every single case, whether they've fallen off or whether they've actually continued to live the life that they created for themselves. It's if they kept their power promise. So at the beginning of their transformation, they asked them to create or keep, or excuse me, make a power promise is what they call it. Now, this has to be one of the most simple things that you can do. So let me give you examples of people's power promise on The Biggest Loser. I will brush my teeth before I leave the house in the morning. I will drink one 8 ounce glass of water before I do anything else or put anything else into my mouth in the morning. I will make my bed. These are the power promises that these people had. Seemingly incredibly insignificant. Yet Chris said that every single person that actually reverted back, it started with them losing their power promise. And when they interview these people and they're like, why did you go back to your old weight? Without exception, everyone says, one morning I drank a Coke before I drank water. One morning I left the house and I didn't brush my teeth. One morning I refused to make my bed. And that was a decision that compounded into every area of their life. They lost confidence, they lost it all, and they gained hundreds of pounds back. Again, the commitments to ourselves are the most important. I'm very careful to make, I heard that, I don't know, call it 7 years ago. And ever since then, I've been very careful to make promises and commitments to myself because if I do, I'm keeping them. One of the best examples I can give you is I love to run when it's hot outside. Like it's just my favorite thing to do to clear my mind and I go on these runs and I will never tell myself I'm going to run X amount of distance unless I know I'm going to do it. Like I commit to myself. And so a lot of times I won't even tell myself how far I'm going to run because I'm like I don't want to tell myself I'm going to run a 5K and then 2.5 miles in I'm dead, right? And I can't finish the last half mile. But I'll also tell you the times that I do commit to certain things, there's moments where it's almost so hard where if I never would have committed, I never would have finished. And I think sometimes in life, when you commit to really hard things and you have to push through a lot of adversity, that's when you meet the next level of yourself. That's when you actually grow that day and you actually get better. Because man, if you lay your head on your pillow every single day and you didn't do anything hard and it was pretty comfortable all day long, you didn't grow. You didn't grow. My one of my cousins says that he takes an ice bath every day, and the only reason he does it is because he says, I don't want to get weak. It's hard. I hate it. But I make myself do something hard every single day because I don't want to get weak. And so I know I have to do hard things. Okay. That is number one. Starts with leading yourself. And then here's my point. You can't ask people to follow you somewhere you're unwilling to go yourself. Duh, right? You can't ask people to follow you somewhere you are unwilling to go yourself. Guys, just a sec.
Did we just lose Kyle?
He said
No,
he'd be
sorry.
back.
I had to plug this thing back in and I dropped it when I did.
Oh,
Sorry. Okay. That's point number one. Point number two, your mindset determines what you see. Very simply put, one person sees a problem, the other sees an opportunity. One person sees a setback, the other sees a lesson, excuse me. One person sees an excuse, the other person sees a challenge to overcome. The circumstances can be identical, the interpretation can be different. Um, I was on a Zoom call yesterday with a company that is battling right now some hard times, and they were trying to there was two people trying to prove a point, not with theoretical type things, but with hard factual data. A lot of it that came actually from the blockchain, like factual data that you cannot, no one's arguing with. But what's so fascinating is they took radically different positions based on the same data, like polar opposite. One, like the most dire ever, one, the most positive ever, same exact data. How's that possible? Right? Your mindset determines what you see. It's the old saying that you've heard 1,000 times, but yet it's one of those simple things we know, but it's so simple that we simply forget to actually pay attention to it. If you've ever gone after a new car, the moment you get a new car or whatever car it is, you start seeing them all over the road and you've never seen them before, right? Like that, once again, like your mindset truly does determine how you view your life. What I wrote down is you may not control what happens to you, but you can control the meaning you give it and what you do next. Ask my kids and they'll repeat this. If you say, hey, what does dad tell you all the time about life? They will say life is 10% what happens to you, 90% how you respond. All right, number three, take extreme ownership. Great leaders never spend time blaming. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. Um, Joe and I actually just experienced a little situation to where we were pursuing something and we were pursuing it with somebody we thought we were gonna do this particular real estate deal with for about 9 months, and then we kind of get into the deal and I realized the numbers are nothing like they should have been and we actually can't do this deal. And somebody was telling me the other day, I was telling them about it, and they're like, man, I'm so sorry, like I'm really sorry, I was like, you know what, I am too, but probably not for the reason you think. I'm sorry that I didn't catch that sooner and that I let something go so far without really taking ownership and getting into the weeds of it, because I trusted somebody and yeah, they were wrong and quite frankly lied. However, it's my fault. It's my fault. I should have done what I needed to do. And now here we sit in a situation where what we thought we were going to do, we're not going to do. And it was ultimately my fault, even though somebody did really something they shouldn't have done. Are you with me? Like extreme ownership. Because here's the other thing. Ownership gives you power. If you're responsible for changing it, you're no longer waiting on someone else to fix it. Blame gives away your power. Ownership gives it back. I'll tell you, one of the things I do a lot of things very poorly, and I have a lot of growth that I need in my life. I just told you about a couple areas where I messed up real bad. One of the things I feel like I've been able to do pretty good is not give people control over me. And here's what I mean by that. It doesn't matter who does what, even the circumstance I just told you about. I refuse to let anybody get control over me because then it takes away all my power. For example, I could be really upset about this and I could be really in the right and angry and frustrated and resentful. But guys, you either get better or you get bitter. There's no other way. And when you allow other people to dictate the thoughts that you have, which by the way, your thoughts control your feelings, then you're allowing somebody else to have power over you without them even knowing that is just stealing your power. Okay. Number four, your standards become your culture. People pay attention to what leaders tolerate more than what leaders say. If you, do you tolerate excuses, being late, poor attitudes, lack of preparation, mediocre work? By the way, can I go all the way back to the beginning? When it comes to leading yourself, do you tolerate excuses, being late, poor attitudes, lack of preparation, mediocre work? I always say the mirror test. At the end of the day, look yourself in the mirror and say, "Hey, if I was if I was an employee, would I fire or hire myself today based on what I did?" Okay. I'm gonna give you one more, then we can open it up. And I'm actually gonna go down. I'm gonna skip a few, and I'm gonna go down to number 9, which is what I think is one of the most important. Protect what gets into your mind. Mindset isn't something you fix once. You're consistently and constantly feeding it. So here's some questions to just always be pondering. Who are you hanging around? Who are you listening to? And let's speak into your life. What are you reading? Who has permission to give you advice? Are the people closest to you challenging you or are they validating you? And then here's my point, my final point. Your environment is either reinforcing the person that you are or developing the person you're becoming. Leadership, guys. Everything rises and falls on leadership. Okay, that's all I got. I'm ready for y'all's feedback.
Kyle, awesome as always. I wanted to give a warm welcome to two new team members that we have. We have Sarah and Carrie on the line today, so welcome you guys. Didn't I tell you this is my favorite call of the
It's
week?
awesome.
Um,
Welcome,
yeah, I
guys. That's awesome.
wanted to add on to some of the greatness that you just said. Who you listen to is so important. This past couple weeks, I've been building a relationship with a friend online, just chatting, just being guys, just talking about life and God. He's a scholar and he's been like really dripping some beautiful knowledge onto me. Um, but I look at like, okay, who do you listen to? Do they have what you want and have they been where you want to go? And that's so important. I've just been listening to myself and the influences I have and like where I'm at, looking at where I'm at in my life and in Life Wave. And I'm thinking, you know what? I love him. He's amazing, but I need to spend less time listening to somebody who's not going where I want to be, even though he's got beautiful wisdom and amazing knowledge that I don't have. And I need to spend more time listening to my peers and my mentors in LifeWave and just kind of shifting that. So I started getting really into, I had a post recently that I thought man, maybe I'll hopefully get 3 or 4 comments on this post about LifeWave. It totally went viral. There's like 23 shares. I've been spending the past 2 nights staying up all night answering hundreds of requests for info, and
Oh,
it's just been amazing, and it's been inspiring me. Um, Past 2 nights I couldn't really sleep, so I've been spending hours just listening to lectures from David and different interviews with David. It's just been the wisdom that's there. It's like, oh yeah, I just I needed to correct my course just a little bit, just
mm,
by 2 millimeters. I need to change that wind. And then, with that, taking extreme ownership. And then I listened to this other coach. He says, you can ignore reality with regards to taking responsibility. You can ignore reality, but you can't ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. Wherever you are in life, your best thinking got you there. So I don't know if that means anything to anyone, but I just wanted to share.
dude, that means so much. That's a powerful line, by the way. You can ignore reality, but you cannot ignore the consequences of reality. That is a that's a bunch of wisdom right there. Hmm. Hmm. That's good, man. Thank you for sharing, Jonah. That's awesome.
I can
You
share.
ever? Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Jonah, for inviting me, and thank you for the wisdom that you've shared today. I resonated with the protect what gets into your mind. I'm always very careful about, well, I don't really watch TV, but any kind of media or music or anything, because that all goes into the subconscious mind. But also a lesson recently, um, I was diagnosed with a benign tumor on my pituitary gland. And as I've shared that with people around me, it was interesting to notice the different reactions. And that made me become aware like, I do need to be a little bit careful who I share this with because some people, even though they care and they're well meaning, they hold a spirit of fear around it. And then other people are holding a spirit of love and healing and faith. And so that was just very in my face. Like,
Mm,
okay, I need to, even though my mom and I are super close and she loves me and she cares, like if I have a healing circle of my friends and women around me to come and, pray over this or, do some energy work. Unfortunately, my mom wouldn't be invited because she's very fearful about it, understandably, but it just was a demonstration of that you talked about, that just to be mindful and be careful about who you're surrounding yourself with, and even the beliefs that they hold and the energy that they're carrying
mhm.
toward something.
It's really good, Sarah. I'm sorry for your diagnosis, by the way.
Thanks.
Um, that's really, really good. Have you ever heard that like you have facts, you have faith, and you have fear? Okay, all three are real in our life, but it's the order that we put them in that matters. So facts are always sandwiched in the middle. And when you get facts about something, you have the opportunity to respond in one of two ways. One is to respond on top, right? With faith. One is facts point you to faith, like you just said. Okay, I have a benign tuner that points me to my faith. That points me that's why I have faith, is because it helps me overcome these types of facts. Or you can go down and you can go into fear. Same facts point you to faith or point you to fear. We have to be very, very careful about that. That's really wise. Thank you for sharing, Sarah.
You're welcome.
One other thing, Kyle, just wanted to add in, I forgot to share is that you mentioned, would you hire you based on what you did that day? something that I do a lot is think about, did I serve myself today or did I serve others more than I served myself today? And that determines, like, did I have a good day? Like, did I actually make this day about, like, utilizing this gift of life and blessing others with it? Or was I just kind of comfortable and like, the value of a day is not in how much fun I had or how much good food I tasted. It's in, like, okay, how much should I use this gift of life to help others?
It's good.
So
It's really good. It's a good way to evaluate your day, Jonah. That's cool. Super cool. Guys, we have a meeting that I got to run to, so I have about 60 seconds left. So if anybody wants to share one more thing, share it now. Then I got to run. Okay. Oh, hey, listen, I love it. That was great. That was awesome. Thank you for sharing, Jonah. For Sarah, thank you for sharing. As always, I really appreciate you guys. Let's see, Wednesday tonight. So testimonies tonight, training and opportunity tomorrow. You guys go out and have a blessed Wednesday. We'll talk soon.
Thank you. Thanks.
That's it. Bye bye.